Hey everyone! So, Chromatic Games just dropped a new Dungeon Defenders game out of nowhere called Dungeon Defenders Going Rogue. With the team still working on Dungeon Defenders 2 and Awakened, I don't think any of us saw this move coming. But instead of a traditional Dungeon Defenders title, this smaller release is more of a companion or standalone expansion to Awakened, and I'll give you all the details about what this means in today's video. Now before we get into it, I wanted to mention that I'm trying out a new format with these early access reviews. I've decided to cut out the review score at the end and instead just focus on what the game is, what's currently available in early access, and overall what I think about it. I didn't feel right scoring things that are still a work in progress, especially since the games update frequently and the level of quality can be vastly different depending on how far into development they are when I talk about them. Anyways, it's time to get into the big news for today. For those of you who are new to the cult hit series, Dungeon Defenders is a mix of tower defense and hack-and-slash RPG. So the basic gameplay loop is to protect your crystals from increasingly difficult waves of enemies, you pick up loot and level your class's stats, and then you do it all over again in increasingly challenging stages and difficulties. Despite multiple mainline entries, the first Dungeon Defenders is arguably the most beloved title for its charm, uniqueness, and staggering amount of content. But this new entry in the series, despite carrying the same name, is quite different from the rest. In Dungeon Defenders Going Rogue, the tactical and methodical tower defense gameplay is replaced with a much faster run-and-gun style of combat, turning the character's normal defenses into loot-based temporary placements with cooldowns. Alongside this shift is a drastic decrease in enemy numbers, much faster rounds, and most importantly, the permadeath system. Basically, each run of the game requires you to take on 12 maps taken from Dungeon Defenders Awakened, but death means starting over from the beginning, and losing all of the equipment you picked up along the way. Not everything is lost, however, as the game rewards your progress with skill points that go toward permanent passive buffs for future runs. Now, you're still defending your crystals in every level, but rather than focusing on long-term defenses and strategies like the series is known for, this game pushes you into the exact opposite style of thinking. So, how is this a companion to Awakened, you might be asking yourself? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. Chromatic Games has announced that, along with catching this title up to the first wave of new content for Dungeon Defenders Awakened, the developers will continue to adapt every new expansion for Awakened to work with Going Rogue. This means that new characters, maps, enemies, bosses, difficulties, and gear variants added to Awakened will all be available in Going Rogue as well, albeit in adjusted forms from the original. So that's great and all, but how is the actual game on release? Well, to be perfectly honest with you, after playing it for a while, it's pretty bare bones as far as content goes. The game only has the base 4 heroes so far, there isn't a whole lot of build variety, the upgrade system is extremely basic right now, and it sadly just doesn't feel very rewarding to play overall. I've been a huge fan of the series since the first console release back in 2011, so it's heartbreaking for me to tell you that, unless you are a big Dungeon Defenders fan like me, it's probably better that you wait on this one for the time being. The price for entry is very low, especially if you already own the mainline title Awakened, but there's just not a whole lot to do in the game at the moment in terms of accomplishment and progression. If you love Dungeon Defenders, or just enjoy throwing yourself at permadeath games for a few hours at a time, then it's something to look into, but right now it's definitely more of an investment toward future content. Despite its flaws and extremely early access state, I still personally had fun with it, but take note that this is an opinion from a superfan of the series. If you haven't played any Dungeon Defenders games before, definitely check out the Ultimate Collection of the original game next time it goes on sale, along with the fan-made Redux patch that's available for it through Steam. That's by far the best introduction to the series, and trust me, it's worth every penny. I really want new people to experience this series, but Going Rogue is by far the worst entry for someone to start with. I don't hate it, I don't hate any of the games in the series, this one just needs a lot more time in the oven before it can be justified as a standalone game. The gameplay is also a sharp turn from the normal style, so if you do like Dungeon Defenders, it still doesn't necessarily mean that this one is for you. To summarize what I'm feeling about this release, Dungeon Defenders Going Rogue is a new take on the gameplay the series is known for, and despite how you feel about this, there still isn't enough content in the game at this current time to justify a purchase for most players. However, if Chromatic Games keeps to their word and continues to support the title alongside Dungeon Defenders Awakened, there is definitely potential for this to be a successful spin-off in the future. If you've seen or tried this game for yourself, let me know what you think about it in the comments. Hey, thanks for watching the review today. I hope it was informative and helpful for you, because making this review hurt my soul. If you have any opinions or questions about the game, please feel free to comment down below, or you can talk to me on Twitter at MisspelledMoose. If you like hearing me obsessively talk about indie games, then please hit that subscribe button and press the little bell icon to be notified whenever I release a new video. I also stream all kinds of games on Twitch under the same username, so come hang out and chat with me when I go live to get sneak peeks into my future videos and possibly even show up in them. If you'd like to support my channel directly so that I can continue paying my rent on time, you can check out my Patreon and get exclusive benefits like shoutouts in every video, deciding what games I stream, joining me live on stream, and even raw downloadable files for my future art projects. All of these links can be found in the description below. Thank you for somehow watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.